All right, stage 2, the intake or the valve cleaning with the walnut blast is done. This will start part 3, where we're going to put the new fuel injectors in with the fuel rail, the lower intake manifold, upper intake manifold, get everything hooked back up, and then we are going to put in the new spark plugs and coils. This thing should be good to go. So let's get started. All right, the first step, we're going to take out the remaining 2 fuel injectors out of the fuel rail here. These 2 stayed in the block when we pulled the fuel rail out. Please excuse the fan noise if you can hear it. It is about 95 degrees outside today with a heat index of almost 109. So my apologies there. But yeah, so going to get these last 2 fuel injectors out. Have 4 new fuel injectors. We are going to lubricate the top side of the fuel injectors with silicone-based lubricant to get these pushed in, and then we will get the fuel rail back in the car. So let's get going. Okay, we're going to pull the caps off and put the fuel injectors inside the head, and then these bolts will go in and they get tightened to 6 foot-pounds or 72 inch-pounds like my tiny torque wrench goes to. You do not want to lubricate these Teflon fittings. They should go in dry. So remember, I did lubricate the fuel injectors going into the rail, but you do not lubricate the Teflon fittings going in. So let's get going on this. Oh, one other thing. I am going to plug in the fuel injector wires before getting everything put in, because it is very difficult to get to these connections underneath while the fuel rail is installed. So we're going to go ahead and plug these in first. We'll go ahead and plug in the sensors. And next we'll move on to the lower intake manifold. And we're going to remove this old gasket and put in our new gasket in the lower intake manifold. This is the side that goes against the head. That is pretty dirty. All right, this is ready to go on. I almost forgot something, and it would have been a real shame if I would have gotten the lower intake manifold on and then realized this later, but I forgot to put on these little dividers that go in front of the intake valve. This one is kind of cleaned up already, but all the rest look like this. So I am going to clean these up quick and then get these installed, then we can go get the lower intake manifold in. It's important to point out that the end of the fuel line, it catches on the bottom of the lower intake manifold, so you kind of have to pry up on it so that it will slide over that. Also trying to slide it on the studs that come out of the head, so it makes it a little bit challenging, but there it goes. One of the things to point out too is the orientation of the plugs within the fuel injectors themselves. You have to make sure that they do not block the runners or the tubes on the bottom of the intake, the lower intake manifold, or covering up those tubes. All right, that's the lower intake manifold on, and now we're going to pull out these old gaskets and replace them with new ones and get the upper aluminum intake manifold in. All right, just to give an update as to where we are right now. So I have the upper intake manifold loosely installed. I did put new gaskets in from the lower intake manifold. They were black as opposed to the factory green. I don't think that makes a difference. I got the new gaskets from FCP Euro, so they fit in just fine. So I'm sure they're gonna work just fine. So I still have to put in that junction from the lower intake manifold to the PCV. I'm not looking forward to that, but this is a little bit loose, so I should have a little bit of leeway to get that in. And then I need to torque these down. I just need to look up and see what the torque specs are for each of these Torx bolts for the upper intake manifold. I will either put that up on the screen or I'll mention it in the video. And then after that, we can start hooking up the bracing underneath. The fuel lines need to get hooked up. I need to reroute some of these wires, but we're looking pretty good about getting this wrapped up pretty soon. And we are done. Everything is hooked back up. I did a lot off camera just because the best camera angle would have been from over here, and all you would have seen is the back of my head down in here, connecting all of the connectors and the fuel lines and making sure that they're all set. I reconnected the battery in the trunk, and then I am going to do the new coils and spark plugs and then fire it up, see if there's any codes then. If not, it's time to change the oil, and then we'll wrap this up. This should be pretty easy. In order to, to basically start, obviously there is an engine cover here, it just pops off. But in order to take out the coil packs and get to the spark plugs underneath, we have to undo this Torx screw here, and then we have to disconnect the 4 connectors, and I already pulled off the O2 sensor harness off of there, and this should be able to pull right back. I don't think I'll need to disconnect it, all of these wires or connectors here. So if I can just get this to slide back, then it's just a matter of pulling out the coil packs and popping out the spark plugs. 22 foot-pounds. All done. I can't lie, that was pretty simple. It was easier than I thought it was going to be. The hardest part is just getting the wiring harness out of the way to be able to get the coil packs off, and then the coil pack on cylinder number 4 was a nightmare to come out. I really didn't want to have to get out a pry bar, but I was about ready to do that. New plugs in, new coil packs in. Let's start it up, see if everything runs all right. Running pretty good. All right, so given that that's the end of the carbon cleaning and reassembly of the intake manifold, new fuel injectors installed, lower intake manifold put back in, upper intake manifold back in, everything else put back together, spark plugs and coil packs, along with an oil change. Please comment if you saw that I could have done something a little bit different. And I want you all to remember that the whole purpose of doing this is I am not a licensed mechanic. I have never been a licensed mechanic. I do this on the side. I do it because I enjoy it. I did it because I got to spend some time with my son. Being 16, he likes to spend a lot more time with his friends than he does with mom and dad. So I appreciated the time he spent with me today, so it makes it all worth it. I'm going to be doing some more videos, not only on the A5, but also on my 2015 Audi RS5. And if you couldn't tell from my shirt, I'll be doing videos on my 1987 944 Turbo, and maybe even on the wife's Durango here. So German cars, American cars, NC Germerican here. See you on the next one.